Hello everyone. The first part of the DinoGenics campaign has arrived. We're still waiting on Controlled Chaos, but rather than delay for that, I figure we can at least give you a brief look inside this box, and also show you everything that is part of the upgrade kit. So, for any previous backers, probably the first biggest change you're going to notice is the much larger rulebook of the second printing here. I actually have the rulebook from the first printing right beside me, just to give you an idea of the size change here. So it's a sizable improvement in both size as well as content. We spent quite a lot of man hours going through this just to make sure it was as clear as possible and address all of the concerns that were brought up with the first rulebook. So we took your feedback to heart. And I think you'll find that this is much more user-friendly and informative. Another addition here is we've also packed the new rulebook with a number of examples just to make sure things are extra clear. I am incredibly happy with the way the new rulebook has turned out. Another new addition to this printing of the game is every copy will now include a reference sheet of all the dinosaurs. It's double-sided to also include a reference of all the facility tiles in the game. Here we have our new visitor tracker. So this has only had very minor changes from the first edition, or first printing rather. And that's that we remove the preseason and just have it listed season 1 through 7 now. This is just to help with clarity and understanding for first-time players. So that looks pretty good. The player boards themselves have not had any changes made to them. They still look really good. Each copy of the game comes with 5 of these, of course. At the end of the video, I will set some items up on these just to show them off for anybody that has not seen it before. We have one more board here. So the main board is mostly unchanged, although the biggest difference you can see here is we now include the player numbers for blocking off sections of the map. So this is just to make setup a little bit easier and faster for players. I think I will actually set this up at the end, just to make it a little bit easier than showing on this camera at this angle. Here we have our punch board, which, again, not much has changed here. The only very minor difference is a couple of the tiles have been slightly adjusted. It's not actually on that one. Here we go. So the DNA archive has had its price reduced and its actual ability changed slightly. This is explained in the rulebook, of course. So these all look really nice. So this is a little interesting, at least for me. Looks like Panda has changed the way it packages some things. So before, these just came in a large Ziploc bag. Now they're actually sealed. So that won't matter much to you guys, but it's kind of interesting from a manufacturing standpoint. Here you can see our custom, let's see if I can get this to focus a little better. So these are our custom worker meeples. They have nice little hard hats there. These are, of course, in 5 different colors. One for each player. And of course, what everybody is excited to see, I'm sure, is the Dino Meeples themselves. These are our Raptors. Let's just take a couple of these out. So, there you go. So those, of course, look great. Our very popular goats. Our dice. These are actually engraved. I don't know if you can see that in the bag there. Hold them. Might show off a little better. So those still look great. We have our Triceratops. Our pterodactyls. Ankylosaurs. Stegosaurus. T-Rex. And somewhere we have our Brontosauruses. So there you go. And we have some more worker meeples here. Oh, the mutants. You can never have too many mutants. The individual score markers for the different factions. Scandal tokens. And of course the visitors. So also we have 3 decks of cards here. I'll open one of these up just to show you a quick look at the cards. So here we go. These look as good as they did in the first printing, so that's reassuring. It's always nice to know we didn't mess something up. Okay. I'll post some photos of all these components with this update as well, rather than spend time going through everything, but there's a little round overview. So yeah, this looks really good. Alright, so here is our board setup. You can see that it's mostly the same as the original printing, but we have made a couple small convenience adjustments for people. The biggest of which is we now have a separate place here for the DNA discard pile. So normally these had to be discarded off the board, but since DinoGenics does admittedly have a fairly large footprint, that saves people a little bit of space, and that applies here as well for the manipulation deck. And we've also just added a little bit of graphic adjustment here to show that the Boneyard starts with 4 cards. Otherwise, this is pretty much the same, aside from the aforementioned setup numbers. But there you go. Alright, so as promised, here is a fully set up player board, which looks just as good as it did in the first printing, which is always nice. And of course, we can still slot in facility tiles, and they will not be disrupted. Same thing with the fences. They exist on these tracks here. So yeah, there we go. Alright, so items included with our upgrade kit. We have a stack of cards here. In addition to the cards that have been adjusted, we actually included the updated reference cards for the corrupted T-Rex and mutants as well. So these aren't balance adjustments, it's just this one component caused a little bit of, oops, it's not focusing quite as well as I would like. So these are not balance adjustments, these are simply that during the first printing there was a little confusion about whether or not the corrupted T-Rex were supposed to be added to the deck as normal DNA. So we simply updated these. We put the mutant reference on the back just to make sure they weren't going to be mixed in with normal DNA cards going forward. And since this component was changed, we figured why not put it in the upgrade kit as well. So those will come with every copy. We have the newly rebalanced merchandise and DNA splice cards. One of the biggest things here is, of course, the rulebook, which I already flipped through. And one of the things we added late to the upgrade kit, we originally didn't expect quite as many people to go for it as they did, so we have also included a upgraded version of the visitor board with every upgrade kit. So this is the same double layered board that comes with the regular game. This will just make it easier to reference the new rulebook, since the new rulebook, of course, calls it Season 1 through 7 as opposed to saying preseason. The other benefit of this is some of the expansion dinosaurs actually reference season. That just will make things a little bit easier for everyone. Every upgrade kit will include this. Of course, we have the punch board of the updated tiles. This one is specifically for balance reasons. This one isn't for balance reasons, but we just renamed this tile in the new rulebook, so we wanted to just make it nice and clear for everyone. You can use that tile or not. We have a sticker sheet, which with the inclusion of the new double layered board probably isn't as needed anymore, but we didn't want to take something out of it, so we left that on there. You can use it to upgrade your previous version or discard it, your call. We actually had a little bit of extra room on this sticker sheet, so we did include the circles that you can use to upgrade your main board. So that's there if you want them, and of course there was a small typo in the original printing, so we have a sticker to correct that as well. And finally, since new backers are getting a reference sheet with their copy of the game, we thought it was only fair that people that buy the upgrade kit should receive it as well. So all upgrade kits will include this as well. So there's that. And it looks like I have one more thing, which is, at least I believe it is, our corrupted T-Rexes. So if I can get into this box. Alright, so the mystery box. Let's see here. So here are our cosmetic upgrade corrupted T-Rexes. And those look pretty good. Yeah, let's take one of those out of the bag. So, again, these are primarily used with the single player scenario, but there is also a variant that allows you to incorporate these into the base game. So anybody that pledged for these will be able to do that. I should actually clarify that, actually, if I grab the punch board here, that even if you didn't pledge for it, you can still use that scenario with the punch board variants of these. These are just a little bit nicer. So there we go. There's a quick unboxing of the second printing of DinoGenics.